Hello everyone, welcome back to the Opulent Life. After a very long time, we are now going to do finally an unboxing of another watch that I just purchased. It is by Casio and as you can see in the box in front of me, it is a G-Shock. I'll be talking more about it as we unbox this. The plastic had to be taken off because I had to do a quality check before I do the unboxing, so just bear with me on that. Now without further ado, let's get started. So we have a cubicle box which is of course made of plastic, and it is gray in color. You have the G-Shock logo, 20 bar water resistance, shock resist since 1983 written on the top, and then you just have plain colors on the sides. In the front you have G-Shock written again. On the back you have barcode and just some information which is in Chinese. I cannot read that. And on the bottom you just have this nothing specific on the bottom. Right, so let's open this up and find out inside. So here we go. When you open it up, you first get this user manual in front of you, module number 5611. What this has is just instructions on how to use the watch and set the watch. And believe me guys, for this one you might actually need to refer to it, because setting the watch is not as simple as it looks. So I do recommend going through it once for the English section to understand how the functions work and how you can set it up. Once you get the hang of it, feel free to toss it back into the box, but I do recommend going through it for this one because I've had Casios before. They can be kind of finicky in setting up at times, but once you get going, they function fine, and then you don't need to go back to the module again. So let's put this to the side. What else is in here? You just have a hang tag, and then we have the warranty card. Okay, so it comes with a 1 year warranty. It's international, so once you get this filled out by your dealer, you can use this if you need to send it in for repair. I bought this as a present for myself from Macy's, so it did come through an authorized dealer. If you buy it from GShock, you will not get the warranty, but usually you don't need to use it for watches like this. So if you get a great deal on GShock or some of the other gray marketers, I would recommend going that route rather than going through a retailer. The reason I went through an authorized retailer as Macy's is because I had some gift cards which I needed to use, so this was the best way I could think of using them for. That's what. So inside we just have G-Shock written again. This was the recess that had all the user manuals and the hang tags. Open this up, you get a hexagonal case of metal, and it is gunmetal gray, some nice striations. Feels very simple and tin like, which it is. You have the G-Shock logo again. It mimics what you saw on the box that we just showed you, and you have some horizontal striations, and yes, you have G-Shock written again. The bottom you just have a serial or box number. Not sure what that is, but anyway, so let's open it up. You have nothing on the inside, it's just plain metal tinfoil. You do have this protective foam, and inside you have the watch. No hidden compartments, you just have the watch in a hexagonal case. This is the cushion. Take this off, put it aside, and here we go. So this is the watch. What's the model number? This is the G-Shock Utility Series, G metal. More specifically, it is the 2100 series from G Steel, and with the reference number GM2100CB-1A. So as you can see, this comes in a variety of colorways. Some come in gunmetal gray. This one is black PVD ion plated, and it is actually stainless steel, but it's been given some treatment of black PVD. To be more specific, it's just called a black ion plated bezel, but it looks like a PVD type of treatment from what I can see. And the bezel, as you can see, kind of resembles a very well-known watch. For all you watch fans out there, you may look at this octagonal profile, and what comes to mind? Yes, the AP Royal Oak. Some people even call this the CasiOak series, and now I can see why. The profile really resembles that for sure, and this may be a selling point for the watch. For some it may be a turnoff, for some it may be a selling point. I don't mind it. I think it looks kind of cool, and even though it is a bit of a copy of an original design, I think it's done tastefully enough that I could give it a pass. So what else? Now we can see here that this is a analog and digital watch. So you do have the hours and minute hands, and you also have a small display. I'm going to try to zoom in and see if you guys can see it. There you go. Now, so you can see in the display here, you have hours and minutes at the top and seconds at the bottom. You can change this display, which I will demonstrate in just a second, but let's just go through the external features really quickly. So as I said, this is stainless steel. You can see there's a sort of a brushed finish for the PVD coating on the front, but if you look at the sides, it's actually a mix. There's a little bit of brushing, and then you have some polished mirror finishing on the sides and on the buttons, and then same for the lugs over here. And then as far as the strap goes, you have a cloth strap. This is a canvas strap. Some people like to call it a modified NATO strap, because this is a modified NATO strap because you have a tang sort of buckle here, but you have these NATO style rings, which you can kind of give it a NATO look, but it's not a true NATO strap if you are wondering. And also these straps are quick release changeable, which is a good plus, because I have a feeling that this cloth strap after a lot of use can get sort of worn out, and once that happens you may need to replace it. So it's good they've given you the option to change with this quick release. You just put your fingernail in there, kind of push it to the side, and then this comes off and you can replace it easily. On the back you have some information written, which is telling you that this is shock resist, of course. Surprise the name is G-Shock. You have the serial number, and you have what else written? Shock absorbing strength, Japanese movement. Of course this is a Japanese movement. Watch is manufactured from a Japanese manufacturer, so no surprise there. You do have 4 sets of buttons. You do have these decorative elements on the edges. I would assume these are for grip, so that does give it sort of a rugged feel. I do like that. And then you have 1 2 3 4 buttons. This one activates the light, which you can't see probably right now because I already have a very bright lamp on. Let me just turn that off real quick so I can demonstrate it. So there you go. So if you turn this on, the hour markers light up, and so does the digital display. Now it looks kind of nice right now, but I find it to be okay in terms of luminescence. It does stay on for a brief amount of time. Right now I set it to 3 seconds. You can set it up to 1 second if you want. I prefer it to be 3 seconds because it gives me enough time to look at it. And then also this, you do have some neo bright material here that is not showing too much luminescence right now, but I'll do a lume test real quick, show you guys. Let's mark it with our torch, see if we can get it to brighten up real quick. As much charge as we can, and there you go. So you can see decent enough lume, nothing to write home about, but it is there if you need it. And yeah, so it's just the hours and the minute hands that's glowing right now. It would have been nice if we saw the other elements of the dial also glow up. For example, you have a day counter on the 9 o'clock position, which tells you what day of the week it is. It automatically sets. So the way you set this watch, you see there is no crown here. You have to set the watch digitally, and once you set it digitally, the analog hours and hour hands and the minute hands and the day hands, they set automatically, which is kind of cool. I do like that feature. It is it does make things a little bit more tricky and complicated when you're setting the time, and that's why I was referring to the user manual earlier on, that you do need to look at that in order to understand it. Otherwise you're going to be frustrated if you start doing this by yourself. The watch does have a 200-meter water resistance, so that is decent given this price point. The watch does come at a MSRP of $230. Right now on the Casio website, you can find this for about $185, and maybe there's some deals out there that you could possibly get this for even less if there's some good deals out there right now. But I had to pay full retail because I was using a gift card, and there were no deals going on at Macy's right now. So I paid the full retail plus tax. Came out to be somewhere around $245 in total with the taxes. But overall, it's a pretty decent watch. Very good for rugged use, for everyday use, casual use. Some people might even try to use it for semi-formal. I'm not so sure about that, but I stick to casual use for this type of watch. Now, what else can we see here? So you just saw the minute hand just do a jump sequence, and that's because this is essentially a quartz watch, but it is being digitally controlled. So you won't see a sweeping movement of the minute hand. As soon as the minutes change in the digital, it will do a jump movement to the next minute. So that is something unique, something if you are interested in, you will like it. Now you also see the watch has a total of black, white, and red accents, which is really nice. And that is a combination that works really well, especially if you are into darker clothing, and it blends really well with that. So what else can we talk about this? Now keep in mind, as I'm holding this watch, this is rather lightweight, so it's not a heavy watch. It's about 72 grams of weight according to the specs here, and that is decent. The battery life, you may be wondering, it's approximately 3 years as rated by the company, and it uses SR726W batteries. If you're ever needing to change it, that's the one you will need. The glass, this is not sapphire, guys, so as you can see, there is quite a bit of reflection coming through. This is mineral glass, very hardy, very sturdy. Scratch proofness is limited, not too great, not too bad, but at this price point, you can't really be arguing about the type of glass you want. Some manufacturers, some micro brands may be offering sapphire, but there are grades of sapphire. Some sapphire is very good, some sapphire is not very good. Now the luminescence material is about average. We talked about it. It's called Neo Bright. And what else? So the stopwatch is accurate to a 1/100 of a second, and you have 31 time zones, which I just demonstrated. If you set it to a time zone, hands automatically set. I'll show that in a second. And then we talked about the countdown timer. The calendar in this watch, an interesting thing, it is preloaded with a calendar up to the year 2099. So if you plan on using this watch beyond that year, you will be disappointed if you make it that far. So the accuracy, now it is a quartz movement. The accuracy is rated as plus minus 15 seconds per month, which is not bad. I mean, of course, compared to your regular mechanical auto watch, this is astoundingly better. But that trade-off is, you got to keep changing batteries from time to time. So for those who are looking for a rugged digital and analog watch that can work in many different scenarios, this is the one that you've been waiting for. I really love the red and black accents on this. So let's do a quick check of the adjust function. So let's see if we can toggle it to that particular function. All right, so you do have this button here. What this does is it changes the display of the digital side. Right now it's gone to the date. You can go to the hours and minutes, or you can go to the date with this one. You do have the ability to set DST time on this watch, and you can mute the buttons. Right now I've set it to mute so it doesn't beep 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 too much. You have the ability to set 5 different alarms, and let's just toggle through the modes for a second. This is this button over here on the 8 o'clock position. You can set world time. Right now I've set it to a KHI, Karachi. You can set it to a stopwatch. So you can toggle the stopwatch function through here. You can set it to a countdown timer. You can set your alarms. You have one. And then you can keep toggling as much as you need to. Right now it's going back to the date. And that is because I had set it to date from here. So on the 4 o'clock button, you can toggle between date and time. Now this button over here, the 10 o'clock, that's for adjusting. Alright, so since I'm in Eastern time zone right now, when I press adjust, it says NYC, but see what happens when I keep holding it down. Notice that the day hand moves to the Sunday and the time moves to 1:05. Now this is not a time set. This is waiting for me to set the time for the New York time zone. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to press this button here to see if we can adjust it to a different time zone, the different cities. Let's say we go to Lisbon in Portugal. Okay, now I'm going to set it to that, see what happens. So right now it's Wednesday in Portugal and it's 5:19 a.m. See how the hands are automatically going to go to 5:19 and stay there. So if you're traveling in different time zones, this is a handy feature. You can easily change it to whatever time zone you want. You have 30 different time zones and it's very simple to do. So let's now, for example, go back to our time zone. And the reason why it does this dance of the hands, right now it's moved out. The purpose is to move out of the way so you can look at the digital display without any issues. So now what I'm going to do is I will go do things, that involve shocks to the wrist, this is the watch to have, because it won't get damaged in those situations. So that's all I have for you guys. Please do subscribe, like, and share this video. I will be coming out with more product reviews very soon. Take care and have a great day.